Hi, and welcome to this week's episode of Retro Gaming Dads. Tonight we're going to be talking about physical re-releases of Game Boy games, a new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game, and the news from Microsoft and Zenimax. This is episode number 10, and with us we have Barry and Anthony.
Hello there.
Hi there.
So, we mentioned it at the end of last week's episode, a couple of new Game Boy games. I believe you got a bit more information for us there on that one, Barry.
They're not actually new Game Boy games, so these are re-releases of some Natsume games that were released in 1990 and 1991, so some of the older Game Boy titles. And we've got the rather interestingly named Spanky's Adventure, in which you take on the titular role of Spanky the Monkey as you throw
that's not short for
coconuts.
anything.
No, surely not. As you throw coconuts at enemies. This is a bit more of an arcadey game, a bit like Bubble Bobble, if you've ever played that, or Snow Bros. And the second title is Amazing Penguin. Now, this one's a bit more towards a puzzle game. So you're on a grid, and you've just got to clear the enemies, the buttons, and what I believe are landmines off of the grid to fill it in and complete the stage, move on to the next level.
So it seems a bit strange that we've got these two games almost appearing out of nowhere coming out for the Game Boy.
Well, these are being released by Limited Run Games, and it's not the first time that they've re-released older titles. Must admit, the selection of games seems a bit odd. Probably something that they could have got a license for, I guess.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, they're not the most well-known Game Boy games, are they?
No, they're not exactly your Pokemon or your Super Mario Land.
Well, have you two played these games?
No, I've never played it. Either of them.
Never played them. Never heard them.
I only played them recently for this episode.
But so you actually have had a bit of a playthrough for them?
Yes, they aren't the greatest Game Boy games, to be honest. Nothing inherently wrong with them, they're just not that exciting. Graphically, they're rather plain. Again, these are very early Game Boy titles. Spanky's Adventure is the only game out of the two that I was actually aware of, because I have seen it on the SNES.
Sorry, just quickly, I thought it was called Spanky's Quest.
Sorry, Spanky's Quest, yeah, not Spanky's Adventure. Spanky's Quest and Amazing Penguin.
Yeah.
Both games are available for pre-order right now from Limited Run Games. This is only until the 4th of April, so you've got to be quick.
With those two re-releases, we're also seeing a new Turtles game. Now this, I spotted this before, and I thought this looks very interesting.
By the guys at .mu. You'll probably notice that name if you played last year's Streets of Rage.
Yeah, which was a phenomenal recall back to the Streets of Rage games of old, I thought.
Yeah, I'm guessing they're probably the same engine actually for this game, because it looks like it plays very similar.
So obviously the game's called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. Now, I get very much the old arcade game vibe from it. Even down from the art style, the way it plays and everything, it is very much like the Hyperstone Heist and the like.
Yeah, so Hyperstone Heist and Turtles in Time. I noticed even if you watch the trailer, which is available on the website, at the end when they throw one of the Foot Clan into the screen, that's taken straight from Turtles in Time.
Yeah, brilliant. I mean, these guys have done a few remasters and recreations, and they've always done a pretty good job, I think.
Yeah, last year's Streets of Rage, absolutely fantastic side-scrolling brawler.
The other good thing of this is that I saw that they're doing this as an actual 4-player online co-op. So you can have up to 4 people on that.
Again, that's something that was in Streets of Rage.
Not
Yeah.
in 4.
Because it was only 2-player local, but 4-player online.
Okay. No, because I couldn't join you.
Have I got-
you two playing
thought
through
it was
it.
the other way
Have
around.
I got that?
Yes, the
Have
other
I
way
got that
around.
backwards? Right.
Yeah, I think it's 4-player local, 2-player online.
Right.
Yeah, because we were going to do a run through, we couldn't do.
Yeah, I remember that now.
I knew one way or another we couldn't do the 4-player for some reason.
So it's nice that they've added that in, and obviously it plays the 4 turtles, so there's quite a bit of a mixture. I wonder if they would add other characters into play. Maybe they might do. Maybe that's just me.
I don't know. I mean,
Maybe. I think this is based on the 80s Turtles, so rarely, yes, Splinter's the only character I could kind of see them adding. Although it does show in the trailer, April O'Neil fighting back a bit, which in that version of Turtles, she never really did. She was most definitely like the damsel in distress. It's not like the newer Turtles where she's a Kunoichi, is it? A female ninja?
Something like that. I'll pronounce it. None of us profess to know Japanese, so our pronunciation of it will be terrible.
No, I don't even know English.
That is true, yeah, we do struggle with English.
Yes.
So this is going to be an interesting one, because Anthony's not really played the old school Turtles games.
I think I did.
Just out of curiosity, actually, did you watch them as a kid?
Yes. Oh, 100%.
I don't think it'd be the same one.
Say again.
The
sorry.
Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles. Is that the
Yeah,
one
yeah.
you watched? None
Yeah,
of
so
the
the-
later Ninja Turtle ones.
Yeah, no, I watched the original. I remember having a VHS and watching it on video when I was younger.
Right.
That's good then.
For anyone from the US who have just wondered why I made a distinction between Hero Turtles and Ninja Turtles, when the original series was played, the word ninja and nunchucks were too violent for the UK. So it was rebranded as Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles, which, when I first heard the theme song playing again, really threw me because it is ingrained in my head as Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles.
Heroes in a Half Shell, Turtle Power.
That's the one.
Is that why you went to correct me earlier when I was singing it?
Yes.
Absolutely.
You gotta sing it right.
Also, it means that Mikey's nunchucks aren't going to be edited out.
Yes. Although saying that, I did notice he was holding a slice of pizza in most of them, so I'm wondering when it comes over to the UK, are they just going to replace his nunchucks and he just
With a pizza.
slaps everyone across the face with a piece of pizza?
Well, didn't they do that weird thing where they kind of tried to give him a 3-section staff type thing?
Yeah,
instead
it
of
was like a
nunchucks?
collapsible staff in some. I think what they tended to do is when it was in his belt, drew it that way, like instead of a chain, just another part of the staff.
Yeah,
But I think they just edited almost every single fight scene with Michelangelo out.
sadly so, yeah, because best turtle.
No, Raphael.
But yes, I did play the original Turtles, but that was only when we went to the arcade place.
Yes, I was going to
Because
say.
there was the arcade system that we played on.
Was that the original Turtles?
It was the Hyperstone
original
Heist, I think.
Hypestone Heist is a Mega Drive game, which is based on Turtles in Time. But I remember as a child playing the NES version of Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles, and that game is brutal. I remember playing the NES version, and that game was absolutely brutal. There's some stages where you're in like a reservoir or the sewers, and there's electric seaweed everywhere, and you have to swim through with pixel precision to not get killed. And every time you lose one of your turtles, they revert it back into like little tiny turtles. And the shredder at the end, absolutely brutal. And somehow I managed to complete that when I was a kid. Used to go around with friends just to play that game. Didn't even like the guy, I just wanted to play it.
Use and abuse.
Not me, by
That's
the
the
way.
one.
This was not me. I didn't have an NES.
No, Phil didn't have an NES.
Now, I think though that we could probably do a whole podcast on punishing games from the NES because there's a lot of notorious ones, isn't there?
I wouldn't be able to join that since I never actually played on a NES.
Well, I think most games on the NES which are punishingly difficult are just because they have really bad controls. Like, up is not jump. For God's sake, any game that uses up as jump that isn't a side-scrolling one-on-one fighter
Yeah.
deserves, they deserve to be shot, to be honest.
Speaking of one-on-one fighters and Turtles, there was also that Turtles beat 'em up, wasn't there? I think it was on the
Yeah.
SNES and the Mega Drive.
SNES, Mega Drive, and the NES.
Was it on the NES as well?
Yeah, they made a NES version, and all three of them are different. There's even different selection of characters between them.
See, I
Tournament
think I played
fighters,
the
it was.
Mega Drive one.
I think the Mega Drive one's kind of like the okay one. I believe the SNES is seen as being the best out of the three.
Now, with the game, what's interesting and I'm looking forward to is them bringing back some of the older, bringing back some known enemies like Beat Bop and Rocksteady, are two of the ones that was in the trailer.
I noticed Triceratons in there. At the end, you see the Technodrome coming up.
Yes.
I didn't see Krang, but I did notice the head of his mech in the background
Okay.
of one of the shots. And I also noticed Baxter Stockman, and I like the way they've got the old style Turtles vehicles. They've got little like camper van and the like jet thing that I always remember being attached to the bottom of the blimp.
Mm.
I noticed that's in the trailer as well.
Good old classic Turtles.
Yep.
Krang is hard to forget or know who he is. He's just this little pink, weird tentacle thing. Obviously in a robot.
It's basically a brain with a face on it, isn't he?
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Weirdest enemy ever.
So have we got any release dates or any more details on it?
No, it just simply says coming soon. It doesn't. I couldn't even see what systems it's coming to. The only one I can confirm is Steam.
Given the company and the sort of stuff they've done in the past, I imagine there's going to be Xbox, PlayStation, and Steam, most likely.
Yes, I would imagine Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, and PC.
Yeah.
Hopefully they do a Streets of Rage 4 and it goes straight onto Game Pass. That'd be good.
Yeah, that'd definitely be good. Unless you previously pay for the game beforehand. And to add salt into the wound as well, even though I've paid for Streets of Rage 4, every time I load it up, it says Game Pass. Just a little Game
you
Pass,
pre-ordered it.
little Game Pass badge in the corner. I'm like, no, I paid for this game.
Just
You
for
pre-ordered
those
it, didn't you?
I did.
Just for those who are wondering sort of why it's coming up, nearly every time Barry buys a game, it goes onto Game Pass, and it irks him because it's like...
It's not just Barry, it's happened to me on more than one occasion. Even Code Vein's on Game Pass now.
But like, it's normally literally he buys it and like a day later it goes, it's coming. He's like...
Yeah.
This wasn't even a day later, this was literally day of release, it was on Game Pass.
Yeah. But I'd already, like, a couple of weeks beforehand pre-purchased.
it?
Well, Scott Pilgrim didn't go onto Game Pass, or at least not yet anyway.
Well, no, but I've still not got my physical limited run version of it.
Really?
It's not even been shipped yet. It's been like 6 weeks or something, I think.
That's crazy.
Yes, it still says in production. I'm looking every single day.
So, some quick news. So, there's been a leaked Tomb Raider trilogy, comprising of the Tomb Raider releases, Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider, and Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Now, I must say, Tomb Raider and Rise of the Tomb Raider, I really enjoyed. I've not actually played Shadow of the Tomb Raider, though.
I haven't either.
Yeah, me either. I did like the reboots. I believe there was also a bit of news on a classic family Nintendo game as well.
Oh, yeah. Family friendly, all the way through and through. Conker's Bad Fur Day turns 20 years old. This was actually a few days ago, the 5th of March. But that game to sit down with your young children, you know, that adorable little squirrel fighting the big monster, literal monster. Family friendly for everyone. And oddly enough, I got my copy of the Xbox re-release got delivered to me today.
It is pertinent, and I'm sure there's going to be beeps.
Well, yes. Oh, yes. So
I
Anthony is looking at me at the moment thinking, why the fuck is he saying so often? But they will be bleeped out, don't you worry. But the re-release on the Xbox is actually censored. So it's only rated a 16 as opposed to the 18 that Nintendo 64 version was.
I talk about it being a family-friendly game. I'm there thinking there's something behind this because you two are smirking whilst you're saying it. And
Just
I'm
very
like,
quickly,
what is this game?
we're going to take a brief break while I just send one of the bosses to Anthony.
A few moments later.
Great Mighty Pooh song. I've been scarred by a game.
Basically, the whole game's like that, just loads of swearing, like. But it's made by Rare, the people who done like Perfect Dark and Banjo-Kazooie, Diddy Kong Racing, Donkey Kong 64, and they just got partway through the game, pivoted, and just made it into an adult 3D platformer.
Oh, so stuff it. We're not gonna.
Yeah, they were like, oh, we've got Mario 64, we've got Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie. So they thought, you know, we're just gonna go in a different direction with this, and just scrapped it.
But
made that.
It gave us one of the bosses of all time.
quite literally.
How old were you two when you played this game?
We would have been teenagers when it came out.
Yeah, it's about 16.
Yeah, so toilet humour was probably about right for us.
Yeah, toilet humor to the extreme.
I don't think I've ever seen a game to that effect, and it has shocked and ruined me.
Well,
and that was literally
the
just watching the
Nintendo
song
64
bubbles.
and the Xbox version are probably two of the best looking games on those two consoles.
All right, that's one I will never forget.
So hopefully Microsoft will bring it back for Conker's 20th anniversary on the Xbox backwards compatibility, maybe.
Maybe
not. Maybe it's just a bit too adult for the demographic.
Yeah. Now, another sort of thing that's come around and is a possible leak is we saw someone leaking about Master Chief possibly coming to the Super Smash.
Walmart, wasn't it?
Walmart Canada, specifically. I don't think this is so much a leak, but the internet's doing what the internet does best and is just running rampant.
Well, you've had a couple of Microsoft characters appear, so Master Chief doesn't seem all that odd.
So we have got Steve and
Banjo-Kazooie, is it?
Oh yes, I completely forgot about Banjo-Kazooie
Oh yeah,
being in Smash. Even though I've
thinking
only just mentioned them like a moment ago.
Yeah.
So it's not completely out the realm of possibility, but
no,
I don't think
it's
so.
hard to imagine it actually would happen.
It'd be like someone's iconic character appearing. I mean, like Sonic the Hedgehog appearing randomly in Smash Brothers.
Yes, but and they have had a Spartan in a fighting game before. We had
Yes.
Dead or Alive.
Dead or Alive 4, yeah. So it could happen. I just don't think it will. I think it's just probably someone on Walmart Canada just wanting to try and get a bit of exposure by,
Maybe.
starting the rumor mill.
So, speaking of Microsoft news.
Yeah, so it's official. Microsoft and Zenimax are coming together.
Yeah, the acquisition is complete following the okay from the European Commission.
Yep.
Oh, I know.
Freedom dollars. Make sure you get the right ones. None of these Kiwi dollars or kangaroo dollars.
Or syrup dollars.
Syrup, yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's a massive
that's
amount.
a lot of money.
But that is a massive studio under their belts.
Well, it's not just one studio.
It's multiple. You've got id Software. You got Bethesda. So they're obviously your main ones.
You've got a bunch of there's a few Japanese studios as well under Zenimax. I mean, as a publisher, they were a bit of a beast to be bought.
Yeah,
but Microsoft's trying to make it I feel like they're trying to make a coalition of games at the minute.
They've even said that that's where they were lacking was first party content, and that is where they are quite clearly looking.
It's amazing that Microsoft, for how many studios they actually have, first party studios, how are they lacking in content?
It was the big thing that people complained about the Xbox One generation was the lack of first party titles appearing.
Personally, I was just really miffed about like the lack of TV on my Xbox.
Yeah, there just wasn't enough TV on the Xbox.
Yeah.
I mean, it can't be understated the turnaround that Phil Spencer did from Don Matrick.
Oh, he saved it.
Microsoft lost the sales war for the last generation, but I do think they did win the moral victory.
Yeah.
The amount that they improved, and they went from the beginning generation being, oh no, Microsoft, they're trying to control what we can do with our own games. They're trying to push more multimedia features rather than games. This is a game console, after all. It's not a general purpose computing device. And by the end of it, they're like, they're giving games away. They're bringing characters to other systems. They're releasing games, allowing cross-play. Game Pass. It's Game Pass is the best value for money proposition in gaming ever. There's nothing that's even close to it.
Phil Spencer's came in and absolutely turned Xbox on his head.
Yes.
He's really changed around, and one of the things I saw and read about him saying, and I really appreciate for it, is the fact that people talk about console war, and he turned and said, I don't like that term. I like it all being worked together, because he'll congratulate and he'll comment to Sony and to Nintendo, and he wants it to be like a unity, a thing together. And that's one thing I respect him for.
Like recently, when he done an interview, and he's got a Death Stranding collector's edition behind him. So
Yeah, he had a
PlayStation
Switch and
exclusive.
Xbox.
He had a Switch. He even went on and done an interview for a podcast that's entirely done inside of Animal Crossing. And he went on with his own copy of Animal Crossing to do the interview virtually.
What I will say is it definitely shows that somebody who has a lot of passion about an industry going in and being a leader in that industry can do great things for it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Because there's one thing that you cannot say about Phil Spencer, and he's not a gamer. He is 100% a gamer.
Oh,
He
yeah,
likes
he
his
is.
games, he enjoys his games, and he knows what gamers want.
Whereas Don Matrick, on the other hand, I couldn't really see him jumping into a game of Doom Eternal or
Animal Crossing.
No,
yeah.
no.
He's too busy
He-
watching TV.
Yeah, exactly. He just didn't understand the market, hence why the Xbox One was underpowered and had far too much focus on TV.
I don't even think the power issue was the thing that was the downfall for the
Oh, no, it
Xbox
wasn't.
One.
It was.
It was like the previous generation with the PlayStation 3. That was the most powerful console in that generation. Yet it took them years to get any sort of momentum behind them.
And again, it was
I
one
think
misstep.
bit of it was a massive misstep and probably a decent amount of arrogance.
Oh, a lot of
After how
arrogance.
well the 360 did, or in Sony's case, the
See, that's
PS2.
the thing that interested me with the PlayStation 5's release. Were they going to go back to that idea of Sony arrogance, if you will? Though, I don't think they did.
at the
at
moment,
least
they
not for
just
the same
can't
level.
get the consoles out, can they?
Well, there is that.
Oh, no,
Um,
neither can.
Well, yeah,
But-
and Microsoft seem to be doing a little bit better, but neither
Yeah.
of them are doing great. But, well, except Nintendo storming ahead with Switch sales.
Back to the topic on hand and talking about multiple consoles and the like. So, with the acquisition of Zenimax, what does this mean for exclusives? I mean, Microsoft have come out and said that some games will be Xbox and PC exclusive. What about the
Yes.
big games? What about the next Elder Scrolls and Fallouts?
I don't think they will be.
Yeah, it will. If they will, it'll be a timed exclusive for not long. Because I don't see how they could take it away from other consoles.
Yeah, I don't see them becoming exclusive.
Well within the rights to do
Of course,
that.
yeah.
Oh, they
They
are.
are.
But
But
I don't think they will.
It'll be a too brazen act.
I don't even think it's that. Again, like we've just been saying, I do think they believe what is best for gaming as a whole. I certainly think the next Fallout, the next Elder Scrolls, the next Doom or Wolfenstein, I do think they are going to be multi-platforms. I think the games that they're on about saying some of them are going to be exclusive to Xbox and PC are going to probably be new IP. Perhaps if it's not new IP, perhaps it's more IP that's been neglected over time. So you got things like
Quake.
Quake. When was the last time we had Quake?
Well, you had that
Oh, I
Quake.
love
Not
Quake.
including re-releases of Quake 3 Arena.
Wasn't I remember Quake Wars? That was shocking.
Yeah,
Quake
that
Wars
is actually that was like the start of the Xbox 360 generation.
That was.
Yeah.
I got that thinking, yeah, we're great, and I was like, this is rubbish.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, there is a bit of a hole in the market for that kind of shooter, isn't there?
There is.
Do you think?
I'd
Do
say
you not
so.
think Doom Eternal fills
Doom
that?
does fill it to a degree. It does. Absolutely. And the success of Doom, hopefully we'll see a few more of them. So it's not just Doom living there.
I feel like Quake, even though it was a similar style of the game, Quake was quite a bit more of an arena shooting. Like, I remember young going to my dad's
Quake 1 and
work.
2
wasn't.
weren't.
Oh, was it not?
Quake 2 was sci-fi, quite story-driven. It was kind of, I think they were going more for a Half-Life style first-person game then. Quake 1
Quake 1 was quite religious themed, I thought.
Yeah, it was very like gothic, weren't it, and dark.
Yes.
But then again, each area was different, so you did have kind of the science fiction area with the Marines, but then you'd have the castles with the zombies, the ghosts, the ogres, whatever those giant white things that just ripped you to pieces with lightning were called.
God, yeah.
Can't
they
even
were
remember what
awful.
I hated them. I think Quake was kind of like an evolution of what had started with Doom, because Quake was
Yeah.
the first fully 3D first-person shooter.
Wasn't it also the first one to use a mouse?
No, I actually think the first one was Marathon by Bungie.
Was it?
Yeah, I think so. I could definitely be wrong. I think it was the first game that had mouse look, at least.
I thought Quake had something. It was a first for something with a mouse. I like one thing we'll have to perhaps look at. It was certainly a brilliant game though.
Yeah, I remember playing that, and the noise of hearing grenades clanging about in the distance. That's a noise. Every time I hear that, it takes me back to sitting in your dining room on the floor playing it on the PC.
Yeah, that was not the easiest position to play on though, where my PC was.
It's probably why I've got a bad back now.
Probably. That's probably why I've got one as well. Like trying to lie down on your mouse and keyboard.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the acquisition is a good one for Microsoft, and it brings some big needed studios, because you've got a couple of Japanese studios in there as well, haven't you?
It's got a lot of ways to fill the gaps that Microsoft needed.
I think if Microsoft are going to acquire anything else, they need a
Sega.
I mean, everyone reckons it's going to be Sega.
Yeah. Every time the Sega or Microsoft news, it's like, oh my god, they're buying Sega.
It's coming.
As much as I hate the term, they need a JRPG studio.
Yes. Well, again, there was rumors about them buying a Square, but I
Yeah.
can't see that happening.
I can't see Square happening, but again, you never know. Microsoft have that much money behind them, and they are very happy with the gaming division.
Yeah.
So everyone said, I can't see them buying someone like Bethesda, but there's rumors that they might buy EA, and they could. That's the scary thing.
Well, yeah.
The reason the rumors come from it is because obviously they've got EA playing Game Pass now, so they're working closely for that.
Well, yeah, but Ubisoft are going into Game Pass.
Yeah.
Ubisoft are going into Game Pass as well.
At this rate, you'll just pay like $11.99 a month, and you'll just be able to play every game ever made.
You could ever want.
But we win as gamers, and Microsoft are raking in the crazy money from the monthly subscriptions. Developers are getting a constant stream of money. Everyone wins in that scenario. That's the crazy thing.
They do cycle games in and out.
Yeah.
So if they just kept putting games in and putting games in and putting games in, it will come to the point where those developers just wouldn't be getting any significant amount of money, because there'd be so many games to share it between. So although I don't like going, oh no, Panzer Dragoon Orta's being removed, I do understand why they're doing it.
Yeah, there's got to be a cycle. I mean, there's got to be.
All we need now is we just need Xbox game streaming to come to Switch. Just
love that.
Hurry up and do that.
Yeah, please. That'd be amazing.
And take me money.
Yeah, take all of our money at that point.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to us. We have been the Retro Gaming Dads. Now, if you've enjoyed listening to us and you would like to support the podcast, you can support us at retrogamingdads.co.uk/support.